right, WSTU, it is time for the Forum with your host, Pat Sacco.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Pat.
We have a very special guest today.
Who's that guest?
That's me.
You?
That's me, yes.
It's me.
Well, here it is. Wait, I have to say good morning to Kay and Sheila and Betty and Dorothy and Pat and Sandy and Maggie and Cindy and CJ and Naomi and Adrian, of course. Yes, I got them all out. Oh, and wave to Sheila. Thank you. Today is March 1, first day of March.
Yes, it is.
2018. And this is the third month of the year.
That would
which
be
means
correct.
1/4 of the year will be gone through this month.
Yes.
So there are a couple of significant dates in March, which I'm not going to go over.
Hey, St. Patrick's Day gets its due.
That's the 15th,
17th.
St. Joseph's Day.
What's St. Joseph's Day? The 15th?
17th, because I have a cousin who was named Joseph because he was born on St. Joseph's Day. I didn't know that. Good thing he wasn't born on St. Agnes Day. Anyway, yeah, and there are all kinds of things that are going on in May. There's two birthdays in May. One is mine and one is my son's.
When's your birthday?
29th of March.
Congratulations. Happy
Thank you.
birthday.
And my son, who was just here, is the 28th of March.
Oh, so you guys had you lost birthday parties.
For 18 years, Mike, I couldn't blow myself. I couldn't blow the candles by myself. We had to sit there and blow together. And then last year,
Poor guy.
we went up to D.C. during March, and we met with my daughter-in-law's family, and we had a big dinner. And don't you know they pulled out a birthday cake, and we had to blow together again? I'm not going to have him anywhere near our birthdays because I want my own cake.
Good.
Actually, he came down early for a couple of days, he and his wife. Right now, he's in his third day of a big conference in Miami. He works for the Consumer Financial Protection Agency.
Hey, that's an important job.
No, that's an important agency because they collect money for the government. They collect money from fraud. You know, the big Wells Fargo settlement?
Yeah, where they were setting up accounts.
$450 million fine. That's his agency.
Wow.
And they will deal with an individual as well. I have a friend who had some has property up in New York, and she got a notice that she had to pay the taxes. Well, she called her bank and said, "Please transfer this money. Here's the account." Boom. 3 months later, she gets this thing from New York State saying you're in foreclosure because you didn't pay your taxes. She called the Consumer Financial Protection Agency, talked to a woman, and after she explained everything, the woman said, "Just sit tight." 2 days later, she got a call from her bank apologizing for the error.
Mm-hmm.
They transposed the number.
That's it? That's all it took?
That's all it took. But
they transposed the number and then sent a threatening letter.
When she called the bank said, "No, we sent it. Don't call us. Where it's not our problem." Well, this lady from the consumer agency made sure she found out what was wrong, made sure she fixed it, and made sure there was an apology to the person. So they'll deal with one person, or thousands.
Right.
And so that's a secure thing that you can make a call, and somebody's going to listen to you and maybe even help you. And if we could get that throughout all the government agencies and have them raise their own money, we'd be rich.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, one of the things I'm going to talk about, and that got me thinking about Florida. And got me thinking about seniors again. And I was looking up some things this morning and yesterday about Martin County and St. Lucie County. 20% of the citizens of St. Lucie County are seniors.
20%?
20%.
Okay.
And there's something like, 40,000 of them, seniors in St. Lucie County. Martin County, 27% are seniors.
All right.
And, so this is a real story. Oh, and how do they vote? We've got all these
early and often.
Yeah, we can. I've got some data about how many seniors are in Florida, all that stuff. 71% of seniors vote in national elections.
I would have thought it would be higher.
But I mean, what's our national average?
it's in
40,
the gutter.
30, crap, and every other country is 95%.
Yeah, but
that's the problem. Yeah, but We're too fat. We're too lazy. We've got other people think that the vote is something significant. We say, well, the hell, it doesn't matter. There's so many people voting. Well, the point is, seniors are really a strong force in the state of Florida. Not only do they vote, but they pay a lot of money. And it's the second leading income to the state of Florida is senior population, the various things that happen. Then I got to think about cruising. And I got to think about where people live and what does it cost. And I've got some startling data about what it costs. If you were to go into a nursing home, the median cost of a nursing home stay, median cost, is $91,250 for a private room, up to 5% from last year. And this is 2013 data, 14 data.
Okay, so it's probably more expensive now.
Let's say $100,000. That's over $8,000 a month. Now, what could we do with cruising for $8,000 a month? Let's say we're going to get a balcony cabin for $2,000 for the week. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be 1 week of $2,000 times 50.
It's about the same amount of money.
It's about the same amount of money. But you get your food, your travel, your entertainment. In the nursing home, you get your food and your lodging.
Yeah, so if you were to quote-unquote live on the cruise ship, you could, in theory, not have any extra costs because the only other thing you would be charged for would be
Gratuity.
Alcoholic drinks and
Or
gratuity.
alcohol, right. Now, let's say you took a cabin with a window. Well, you're going to be cutting a lot of the money out of your cost.
Yeah.
Or you could alternate it. Let's say 1 week you took a cabin with a window, 1 week you took a balcony. Because when you cruise year-round, you have to come back to port. You have to get off the ship. You can leave your luggage and stuff on the ship, but you have to vacate the ship. Let's say everybody has to be out by 11 o'clock and you can't come back till 12. Well, then you go somewhere for an hour. Then you come back and get on the ship again. You just don't stay there. You have to do that on and off. They have to vacate the ship entirely, then start taking passengers on. So, I mean, let's say if you switch back and forth, I don't think that would be bad. A week with a window and a week with a balcony, and then you're cutting your cost by 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to stay at a Holiday Inn than it is in a nursing home,
Now,
including food.
yeah, and that's the other thing, because
okay.
when you're at a nursing home, and we're saying that the cost was $91,000 back in 2013, we're just going to round up and say with in rising costs and things like that, we're going to say $100,000 right now. Does that include all of your food
That includes your lodging and your food and your medicine.
and your medicine? Okay.
Unless you're on something special and you're going to have to pay again. But again, even with medicines, we have Part D, which is the drug benefit program, ABCD. We have Part A for hospitalization. Like when I was in the hospital, the charges hopefully are going to be paid for through Part A. When I was getting skilled services, and then they said, okay, you can go home. Now Part A ends. If I go to a doctor to follow up, which I'm going to do, they bill under Part B, which is outpatient services. And they pay 80% of the cost. Now, if I have a supplement, which I do have, the supplement picks up the other 20%. So I pay nothing, but I'm paying like $180 a month for that supplement because it's like a little insurance policy I have to carry. Because if the bill is $3,000 and the government's going to pay $240,000, that leaves me $6,000 out of pocket. I'm betting on it's like having auto insurance or homeowners insurance. You're betting that your costs will be very low, but they're there for catastrophic purposes. So I mean that's that's Part A and B, and Part C is this mysterious thing. Mysterious. What the hell?
Mysterious?
Thank you. Mysterious. I'm not pronouncing it right. Mysterious thing that people don't know about. But Part C is called Medicare Advantage programs. These are private companies that will say to you, "All right, Mike, I'll tell you what. Let us take care of your government needs. You come to our company. We're going to give you all these benefits. We're going to give you some money for eyeglasses. We're going to give you some money for hearing aids. We're going to give you some benefits that normally you don't get on Part A and B through the government.
Mm-hmm.
So they're managing your money. They're managing your care. That's what these Part C companies are. A lot of people have them. I, for one, feel that Medicare is more appropriate for me.
Sure.
But so then D is the drug program, where you get a big discount for medications, and it's distributed by companies. I go to a particular pharmacy, and they have their own plan. So whenever I have a prescription sent, they look at the cost of their own plan and the cost of my plan, and whichever is cheaper, they bill me for. So they're constantly looking for a break for me, which I think is very nice.
So we're talking about comparing, because there are people that rather than pay the cost to live in a nursing home, they pay an equivalent amount of money and live on a cruise ship pretty much full year round.
Can't be the same person, because if you're in a nursing home, there's a need for you to be there, and you need special skilled services. You need to have a nurse right there with you. You need to have an aide to transfer you from your bed to the bathroom. You need somebody maybe to help you in the dining room to feed you.
Okay.
Or the transfers. These are people that take care of you because you have certain needs, and they're called ADLs, activities for daily living. Eating, dressing, bathing, feeding, those are ADLs, activities. Now, if I can't dress myself, I'm not going to be on a cruise ship. If I can't, if I'm in a wheelchair and I can't transfer myself, or I can't feed myself easily without choking, etc., I can't go on a cruise ship. If I can't bathe myself, I can't go on a cruise ship. So those things, the nursing homes are necessary for people who have to have those kinds of services. Now, you can go into assisted living. You may have one or two ADLs. Maybe you have trouble. They'll say if you're in a wheelchair, you have to sit in the dining room chair. So you need to transfer from that chair to chair. Well, you can't do it on your own, so that's one of your ADLs to take care of it.
Why would that matter?
Because they're doing more of a home environment. They're trying to set up a home environment, a resort environment. Okay? It's no big deal to transfer somebody to a chair.
Yeah, I don't know. My wife's grandmother is in a wheelchair, and when we eat dinner with her, we don't transfer her to a chair. We just bring the wheelchair up to the table.
But you're in the environment with all these other people, it's like you're going to the main dining room in a cruise ship.
Yeah.
Now, if they have wheelchairs all over the place, they're going to, wait a minute, what's going on here? Just sit in a chair, okay? If you can get in a chair.
Yeah, I guess.
If you can get in a chair, fine. If you can't, well, we'll put you somewhere where you can sit and eat in your wheelchair. That's one thing. Now, bathing, again, I think is a good issue. And the thing is with bathing, we don't understand this. I think we should have some company come and look at tile and do some kind of a grit system that tile is safe. The older you get, the more fearful you are of a bathroom, because it's all tile. What happens if you go kaboom? You're in big trouble. You're going to break things. What if you're in the shower and you slip on that floor? You're in big trouble. It's all this scary tile. And they begin to get fearful of the environment. They won't take a bath, won't take a shower. We put a chair in the shower. That helps a whole lot, that you can sit and get washed, or you can wash sitting down. A lot of times an aide will take a resident from a nursing home into a shower and do basically what I'm talking about. Put them in a chair, wash them down, all that good stuff. Lotion them afterwards, which is important too, especially if they're wearing, Depends that are irritants. If you do the lotioning, you're not going to create sores. And same thing with the bed. There are patients who are semi-conscious, semi-comatose in nursing homes, where they have a turning program, and they might have a little thing on the door. 1 hour facing the window, 1 hour facing the ceiling, 1 hour facing the door, turning them. Okay? Because if you lay in a position, a lot of times you're going to develop what's called a decubitus, a hole, a wound, a sore, usually around your butt. So by positioning these people can't even move, basically you're trying to keep good skin integrity. And the older you get, the more frail your skin. I mean, all these things, you really have to tune yourself into the level of care that people need. But the point is looking at the costs. What about assisted living? I think I have that in here too. Assisted living is less expensive, but still very expensive. Okay, here we go. Average cost of assisted living in Florida. This was based, I think, on last year. $31,50 a month. A little over $3,000 a month.
Times 12, so you're talking about 36, a
36,
little bit over
38,
36,000.
Yeah. And there are tons of, there's something like, I had the number of nursing homes in the state of Florida, which is staggering. And of course, I'm saying that and I can't find it. It's a little, it's like you want a banana ice cream? No, we don't have any. What else do you want that we don't have?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies? No, we don't have that. The Dolce de Leche. I had some of that at Perkins. At Denny's.
Yeah, the caramel. Dolce de Leche.
My God, was that good or was that good? Yes.
My wife loves caramel. We've got sea salt caramel ice cream at home right now.
Oh.
And then I've got ice cream that's pancakes and waffles.
Yeah, they put it on the pancakes, the Dolce de Leche, whatever. They drizzled it on with the little crunchies and everything. And was good. That good? It's very inexpensive too.
How did we get to talking about that?
I'm getting hungry. When you look at costs and say, well, I don't want to go to a nursing home. Well, the nursing home is the last step. I can go to independent living. I can find a place that has rooms, has a nice dining room, it may have a beauty shop, it may have a little gift shop, and I can live independently in that place.
And I think that's if you talk about the journey that people take, you go from living on your own, whether you're in a house, and then I know as people age, they tend to downsize. You don't have the kids anymore. You go to a smaller house, don't want to take care of the house anymore. Maybe you go into a townhome or a condo, and then is it independent living?
But as long as you can function on your own, basically, it's independent living.
And then
there are a number of them in the area.
And then the next step after independent living would be assisted.
Assisted living, you may develop some problems that you need help with, like bathing, like dressing, okay? But still cognitively pretty much intact. Feeding is not an issue. Mobility may not be an issue. So you go to an assisted living community, which is very similar to independent, but offers you some help. Now, the more help you get, the more you have to pay, by the way.
So that can really change the cost.
It can change the cost. Let's say I need bathing. Well, ding, ding, there's a little bit more cost per month. I need dressing. Ding, ding, that's a little more cost per month. It's kind of like buying a stripped-down automobile. What do I want? Air conditioning. I want leather seats. You pay for those things. Well, you pay for that in nursing homes or assisted living also. Then the third level is nursing home. If you're developing more needs, I don't see how we could ever eliminate nursing homes because we have people who really, really need the help. And what do you do with them?
I didn't know that we were even considering getting rid of them.
No, I said, but no, we're not considering that because that's not the way we deal with our country. We don't put them in a cardboard box under the Roosevelt Bridge.
That would be bad.
That would be bad.
That'd be real bad.
That's not a bad place to live, by the way. It's nice and
yeah,
warm.
when you're in a boat.
Yes, when you're in a boat. Or in Florida where it's nice and warm all the time. But those are choices. And, for the most part, seniors don't go to nursing homes and they don't go to assisted living.
It doesn't get to that point.
No, they're in their home or they're in their mobile home or they're in their condo and they're just happy being there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I said, if there are needs. Now, we live in a townhouse which is 2-story and there's stairs. Well, with my neuropathy, I'm having more problems getting up and down the stairs. Okay, from about the middle of my legs down to my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to go slowly. I have to grab the little railings and the stuff like that. Now, if I want, I can get a stair system or a chair system.
Yes. I was going to say
they look dumb, but boy, they work.
They do look dumb, but yes, they work. And I'm not trying to be offensive when I say that, but I find it interesting because down here in Florida, I feel that we have a very large number of single-story homes. I would say the vast majority are probably single-story, the ranch-style homes, whereas up north, I've got family in Western Pennsylvania. I'm up there all the time. You watch TV. there are a ton of commercials during the day for these chair systems because nearly every home is multi-story.
That's right. That's right.
And I just don't see those commercials that often down here, whereas you see them every spot break up north.
If you go online and start searching, all of a sudden now you get all these ads thrown at you.
Oh, well, yeah,
because
that's...
they pick you up on that.
Thanks, Google.
But you're looking at anywhere between $4,000 and $10,000 on a chairlift system.
Which is a lot, but if it makes you be able to stay in your home for a little bit.
Absolutely. Now, we have an extra room downstairs plus a laundry room with a tub or with a toilet and a sink. I could have that washer-dryer put upstairs and make a shower there. I could take that downstairs room and make a bedroom out of it and stay in one level.
But that costs money, too.
It costs a lot more than what I would do in a chairlift system. So I've gotten all the information about the chairlift system, and I told the guy I don't want it.
You don't want it?
No, but I want information on it. So when I need it,
okay.
then I can get it.
And from what I understand, not to be an infomercial for those chair systems, but they work really well. They can go around corners. So if you've got those stairs that are broken up, you go up to a little landing area and then turn around and come back up the other way. They can handle that. And the chair folds up so it's not in the way.
Exactly. Now, for me, there is a little landing area. What I would do is get a double system, 2 independent systems. I would get a system to ride, get off, walk over to the other one, and come up. Because I can walk back. It's like 3 feet by 3 feet. You can just get up, take a couple steps. That way they don't have to make another $5,000 or $6,000 turn.
Okay. So you're doing that for cost savings, and it's a personal choice.
They do fold. So and they're also battery operated in case the power goes out.
Ooh, that's important to know.
There's a backup system, right? Yeah.
Yeah, very important, especially
upstairs
in Florida.
The power goes out and you're in a hurricane. What the hell do? You're like a worm. You go down the stairs head first or feet first.
It's not going to work.
No. So there's a battery backup on there. I mean, a lot of safety issues. Speaking of safety issues, I have a friend who does lectures for seniors on safety at home, especially in the kitchen. The older you get, the less likely you're going to use an upper cupboard. How do you get up there to get that dish to put olives in? How do you get up there to put that casserole that you don't use very often? Mm-hmm. You can't get up there. So what do you do with all those cabinets? Well, that's kind of a waste. You got to build everything ground level. Microwave. How do you get them to stand up? And a lot of them can't put their arms above their head. Mm-hmm. How can they open up the microwave? So you put the microwave on a counter with a slide out. So it can slide out, take care of it, push it back, and just like you do with a printer. A lot of safety issues and convenient issues. You got to look at stoves that don't have the controls way up on the top and the back.
Yeah, they've got them in the front now.
Got to have them in the front because how can you reach over there, again, with mobility issues of... Now, you're not going to use one of those little reachers. When I was a kid, we had this grocery store that had stuff all on the shelves and had this long pole with a squeeze thing and a clamp on the top. So you go up and clamp a can, clamp a jar. Well, you can't put that into people's homes. They have them. But again, those cupboards are not functional. Mm-hmm. So the older you get, the more infirm you become, the more you have to modify. See, and as far as I'm concerned, I have no problem with any pride or any hang-up. If I have to use a scooter on a ship, I love it because I toot the horn. I say, get out of my way. And we have fun.
Get out of my way or go overboard. I don't care.
There's an elevator, and I say, okay, you two, it's like parting of the Red Sea. I say, everybody move to the sides. And I pull in, and I whip in there, and I'm about 3 inches from the glass.
Oh, wow.
I've never hit the glass. And people go, I said, no, I can handle this. Don't.
Do you know how often I've been on this boat?
Yes. Or how often I've been in this scooter. I mean, I ended up buying one because I rented them all the time. And I thought, I'm putting all this money into rental. Why don't I just get one? And mine collapses into 4 pieces. And the heaviest piece is 30 pounds. And it's the base and with the arm. And the arm comes down in the base. You just lift that and put it in the thing. There's the battery. There's the seat. There's the back wheels, which has the motor. A little basket stuff. Now I have a small car. All that fits in my car plus 2 large suitcases.
Wow.
For what? For cruising.
That's your cruising car?
Yes, that's my cruising car. Now I'm going to think, what was the name of the place? Oh, cripe, here we go again. Up north of Orlando.
Ocala.
No, they have
Jacksonville.
Wait a minute. No.
New York City.
Halifax. They have all these gift shops and what's the name of the place?
Mount Dora.
Mount Dora. Thank you. I took my scooter to Mount Dora, and Mount Dora is like a nightmare. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have.
During the heavy people up on the streets, you know. We got up on the top of a street. I looked down. It was this mass of people.
Yeah, they have. Were you there during their big event?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I had my scooter with me. And it was just crawling in the streets. But it was great because I could go to the left, to the right. People were very courteous. And I didn't have to. I can't walk that kind of walk. You walk and you stop, and you walk and you stop. That I can't do that. That's a killer for me. So I use my scooter in Mount Dora. It gives me mobility. I can go to a flea market. I can go to a craft show. I can go to air show, those kinds of things with a scooter. So why not? Is that called, oh, you have a handicap? No, I have a scooter. It's like, come on, the glass is half full. And we're making lemonade. Whatever, the next thing that comes along, got to have corporal tunnel surgery. Hey, here you go. Here's my arm. Do it. Cut me, Mick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care. I mean, I want to be better. I want to have things happen to me.
You want to enjoy.
Yeah, because I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so many of us don't enjoy. So many of us have, by the way, attitude is greatly related to health. Depression causes problems in your body, causes tension, causes a lot of illnesses. And again, I'm not a medical person, and I'm probably rambling on things that I don't know anything about. But I know I've read enough to know that depression is really a bad thing for the health of your body. And the older you get, the less you can do, the less you are. You go from somebody important to nobody. Mm-hmm. To no one in a matter of weeks. And then you say to yourself, what happened to me? Gee, I was chairman of the corporation and everything, and now I'm just nothing. I have nothing to do. So you learn how to plan for retirement. You get a retirement bucket list. There are two things I haven't done yet that I'm still going to plan on doing. Number one, I'd like to work with Habitat for Humanity, not in pounding nails, but going around to businesses and soliciting funds to buy supplies. Number two is to drive the little golf cart in either Martin Memorial or St. Lucie Hospital. When people park, the little golf
and you help
cart
them
comes
get
around,
in and out.
got a little cover in the rain and stuff like that. Yeah, because I used to have to go to the hospital at Port St. Lucie quite often, and it was raining, and I had to park somewhere near Illinois.
Sure.
You know, because all the staff park in the front, and it was raining and all that kind of stuff. And then the little tram would come by. Oh, great, man, this is great. Or these little old ladies trying to get to the hospital. That would be perfect. I can do that. Those are the things they're two helping things.
Yeah. You might be one of the last groups to do it with self-driving cars.
Maybe so. And now
Better get on it quick.
And now there's valet parking in St. Lucie Hospital.
Is there really?
Yep. And there's valet parking at the emergency section of St. Lucie Hospital.
It makes sense because you want to get in there quickly.
Yeah, because sometimes you're driving around, you got somebody there bleeding in the back of your seat of your car.
Right.
You got to drop them off and then go find a place to park and everything. You just pull in and they take your car and that's it. That's real smart. In fact, one of the restaurants we go to just started a valet parking because there's very little parking around them. Mm-hmm. And I thought it's great because when you pull in, you see all these cars. You say, yeah, I don't know where to park. And I just saw the little valet thing. Hey, great, here's my keys. Park in the front, go, and then pick up your car in the front. Valet is the answer to crowd control, I think.
Uber.
With cars, Uber. Yeah, right. Amazing. All right, what other data do I have here? Will Medicaid pay for a nursing home? Not unless you qualify for Medicaid. In order to qualify for Medicaid, you have to have a cap on an income. I'm not sure what it is right now. It's not a whole lot. Let's say you have Social Security and a little pension, and you're making like $500 a month. Well, that's certainly going to qualify. It will qualify you for Medicaid. So, again, let's say you have those needs, those ADLs, you're going to have to go to a nursing home.
And Would retirement plans, 401ks that you're drawing off of, and all
All
that stuff?
complete together, and then they look at the cost, the total.
Okay,
If
so
you're under a total, you are eligible for Medicaid.
Okay.
Now, let's say you have a $400,000 home on the beach. That's exempt from your assets. The reason being, you say, well, if mom gets better, she wants to go back and live at home. The state has exempted the property, but anything over $400,000 or $500,000, then that's an asset.
Okay.
Some people agree with that, some people don't. Some people say, hey, look, you got a $400,000 home. Let's do like a reverse mortgage. And let's say we're paying $30,000 a year for your care. Well, we'll put a lien on it. We'll take, the $30,000 from your $400,000 until you've expended all your assets, and then the state will pay. That would cause a furor because families say, no, that's my house. No, it's your mom's house, not your house. It's your mom's house.
Yeah. I mean, so is that an example of, you've talked about this in the past, of sometimes family members try and nickel and dime things when it comes to caretakers or people that are taken care of that are their parents or their grandparents, because, and it's probably not even a conscious thought, but somewhere they look at that stuff as, that's my inheritance, I don't want to spend it.
Exactly.
And that's the opposite of what we need to be thinking. That's not your
Not
money.
their money.
That's your parents. That's your grandparents.
That's right.
Their, and it should be used to benefit them.
Thank you. And, the adage is when you're young, you save money because you're healthy, and when you're old, you spend your money on your health.
One of the things I really like that you've said about in relation to this, and I've told it to a friend of mine whose parents have both gotten really sick lately, and it was about the car. And it was about, and I'll let you explain it, but you were talking about, a lot of people try to keep that car because it'll go to them when the parents pass. And you're like, no. What do you suggest?
But that's after you've taken the keys away from them.
Right.
So you're a menace on the highway. Dad, you can't drive anymore.
Yeah, but what should we do once that happens and we're like, you're not going to drive anymore, but this is what we're going to do?
My plan is this. Dad, we've got good news and bad news, all right? The bad news is you're not going to drive anymore. The good news is you're not going to be stuck at home, because what we're going to do, you pay $500 a month for your auto insurance. That's going to go into a fund.
We're still going to set aside $500 a month.
That's we're talking about this fund. $500 is going there. Your car's worth $9,000. We're going to sell that car to CarMax. Okay, whatever.
Whoever.
And we're going to get that $9,000. Now we got $9,500 in the fund, and it's going to be $500 more each year because you would have spent that.
And probably less because you're not going to need necessarily.
You might not need all that money, but here's what you do. You become Miss Daisy. We're going to get either Uber or a neighbor or somebody that's going to be your driver. And let's say you want to go down to the store and get a cigar. You call your driver. Your driver comes and picks you up. You sit in the back like a really important person. Go down and get your cigar. Or you might want to just spend the afternoon in the park. Or you might want to go to a movie. Or you might want to go to lunch with some friends. You have this driver to go wherever you want to go. So you don't take their dignity away.
And just Uber and Lyft, technology is not something to be scared of. You should embrace it because it can make your life better, and it can make your parents' life, even elderly people that don't necessarily gravitate towards these things. It doesn't take that much to sit and learn how to use an Uber or a Lyft, the app on your phone, and be able to have a significantly better quality of life. I love this idea of, we're going to sell your car. Yes, that money is going to be used for you. We're going to continue to put money in it, and you can still go wherever you want. The only question I have for you is, what if the person is wheelchair bound? Because the only issues that I know, or the only groups that I know that will take people around that are wheelchair bound, those are very expensive.
Yes. Could you get a neighbor and teach him how to do a transfer from a wheelchair to the front seat? Probably. Okay? Again, if you get training, you can do this kind of thing. That's what scares me about people living at home all the time and say, no, I'll take care of mom. I'll take care of mom. Mom's getting worse and worse, but well, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a physical therapist. I'm going to have transfer mom from the wheelchair to the bed, but we've slipped and she falls and fractures her hip. We struggle to get in the bathroom because nobody took a look to see if the wheelchair will accommodate that doorway.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Get her up and walk 3 or 4 steps to the John, and maybe she can't do that. Maybe she's dehydrated because we're not giving her water all the time, but there are no electrolytes, and she's going to get dehydration. We don't have the experts at home to deal with those levels. So when it gets to that point, mom should not be at home anymore. But going back to the car issue, is $9,000 enough to give Dad his dignity back?
I think so.
Okay, but you know what some would say? No, let's save the car. We'll give it to our granddaughter after Dad dies.
We'll buy the car from him.
Oh, really? No, I don't think people would think that.
Well,
So of course.
but
All right, you say, yes, we'd like it for the granddaughter. It's worth $9,000. We'll give you the $9,000. Dad, put it in your Miss Daisy fund.
right?
That's because listen, Dad was there when you were born, and Dad struggled, and he worked long hours, and he did a lot of things to make this family good. And Dad was wonderful to go talk to, and I loved him very much and everything. And now you're telling me you want to take his car and give it away? What's payback? Where's the payback? Dad did all these things for me for 60 years, and now Dad's 90.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to those 60 years? Where was he? What did he do for me? And you're talking about the last couple of years of his life, depriving Dad of his dignity? I don't think so. And I love that idea too, because I'm looking at it from the side, and this is what I do most of the time when I deal with seniors. I look at it from their perspective, not from the society's perspective. Somebody says, my loved one is in nursing home A, and I can't stand it over there, and then they don't do anything. And I said, well, have you called the ombudsman? Because they're like an investigative agency. I spent 6 years being one.
Okay.
Well, no, but that's not. I said, you can move your dad. Oh, I can? Of course you can. He's not stuck there. If you go to nursing home A and you don't like it, you can just find nursing home B. If they'll take him, you move him. There's no problem. They can't hold you there. Oh, I didn't know I could switch. Yes, I'm having trouble with a doctor there. Well, there are several doctors that come to that nursing home. You can switch physicians. Oh, I didn't know that. Yes, you can. The only thing they've got you with is medications, because the state says, you have the right to shop around. Well, you go to this pharmacy and you say, do you carry all these drugs immediately in your storage? Because they've got to have drugs to match every patient as a backup.
Mm-hmm.
In a nursing home with 120 people. No, we can't do that. We may have to bubble wrap. Do you bubble wrap all your medicines? No, we can't do that. The restrictions are such that it behooves a company to design themselves to deal with medications in nursing homes rather than the walk-in pharmacies here. So, that's a stigma. I want any doctor I want. Okay, but the doctor has to come into the nursing home, present their credentials, their drug certification, their diploma, proving they're a physician. I don't want physical therapy X company. I want Y company. I want the physical therapist. He has to come in and show his license. In other words, are you who you purport to be, and can you meet the needs of our people? You don't just walk in and out. It's an elaborate process, but I think it's a good one because it gives you some checks and balances. You just can't have anybody walk in and say, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to do this. Here, take these pills, kind of thing. They should build in restrictions. And again, I keep saying this, nursing homes have more regulations than the Nuclear Power Commission.
Wow.
Because there are not doctors there. In hospitals, there are doctors. And the doctors take the responsibility for the care of the patient. Well, a doctor may come in once a week for a couple hours to see 40 patients in a nursing home. So they're not there all the time. So the nurses are there. Now, nurses are not certified by the state of Florida to make these decisions. A nurse can't call a doctor and say, Doc, Millie's got a UTI. I need a script. The nurse has to call the doctor and say, Millie is demonstrating the following behaviors, very similar to what happened last year when she had a UTI. What would you like to do, Doc? And the doctor will probably prescribe the same medicine. But the nurse can't make that diagnosis. That's a diagnosis for a physician.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you have to you can't overstep your bounds. And again, I'll say this, and I've been in a ton of nursing homes in the state of Florida, South Florida, mid-Florida to South Florida. And I would say that 95% of the people working these places are angels. It is a tough job. You may have 12 people to take care of during the daytime. You got to get them all up. You got to get them dressed. You got to get them combed, match their clothing, maybe put a little lipstick on the lady, comb her hair, wheel her out, go get the next person. Somebody's in bed. You got to take care of them. They're running around all day long, and they've got a little sweat on their brow, and they're angels. What they do is absolutely phenomenal. Not many people can do that. The other 5%, we can take them out in the backyard, and I won't go any further. Because
a couple of bad eggs.
Yeah, they're the ones that really spoil the things. That they get caught sleeping on the 11 to 7 shift. They're watching TV in the corner rather than doing their rounds and stuff like that. Those are the kind of people that you need to hope to eliminate from that environment. And again, you got to be real careful with background checks, because you can't get people who are pedophiles even with seniors. I don't know what file you call that.
A sicko file.
Yeah. I mean, again, we've had that happen, and you can't tie people down. Person was all wild, so you take a sheet and you tie him in a wheelchair. Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that, because that's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Not even answering a call bell is a issue that the state would come and investigate. Why didn't you answer that call bell? How long did it take? 20 minutes? That's wrong, totally wrong. It should have been within 5 minutes. Well, there are a lot of people walking up and down the halls. There are people in bookkeeping and maintenance. They have to answer a call. They have to at least go in there and find out what's wrong, and then get a nurse or an aide to come in. You just don't walk by when the light is blinking. You go in there and say what's wrong. And again, it's a change of attitude you have to develop when you work in a nursing home. You're responsible. Whatever you see, whatever you do. And then again, you got to figure out some kind of cool things. We had a patient one time, grouchy old man. Oh my God, he berated his wife all the time. Lived in right nearby, and just a grouchy old guy. And it slept him in a nursing home. Well, he was in, and there was a little patio with some grass and a tree that he could look out the window. And the psychologist came in one time and said, "Sir, I'm here to talk to you." Well, he gave him a blue streak of words to throw him out of his room. And I mean, he didn't hold back. He said, "I don't want you." It's horrible. And I sat down with his wife and I said, "Was he like this?" She said, "No. The older he got, the more grouchy he got." I said, "What, does he like anything?" She said, "He likes this particular flower." And when we lived in Jensen Beach, and the backyard had all this flower he really liked, I said, "Could you bring me some?" So she brought in a bucket, and there was a tree outside within his viewpoint. I dug around the tree and I planted those plants. And he looked and he said, "Oh my God, my favorite plant." And I said, "Now here's the deal. You mess up, I take those out. You mess up, I take those out. And then you could look at the bare ground again. That's our deal." He turned around and he started being very nice to people, cheerful, because he would sit at the window for hours and look at those plants. So sometimes you find that button. Why are you doing what you're doing? How can we maybe make a change? And when you begin to look at people, I went to a seminar one time, I'll tell you this quickly. It was called How to Manage Difficult People. And I had a person on the staff that was very difficult. And the guy said, "Well, first of all, the title is wrong," and I'm gathering up myself to leave. I thought it was in the wrong place. He said, "No, there are no difficult people. There are just different people. And when you find their differences and you allow for the difference, they no longer are difficult." And I'll explain that another time in another show. I want to leave people hanging on that one because we're almost out of time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. You did it.
I did it. Again, I'm trying to impart some information. All right, that's what this show is all about. And we're going to be having some guest commentators in the next couple of weeks, filling in where I have to do what Mike is doing because I want to keep up with him. I got a cruise coming the end of March.
Oh, I've got a lot more cruises to go on to get caught up with you.
Yeah, but
Pat.
You have a lot more years to go before you catch up on my age. So you
knock
may,
on wood,
you,
hopefully.
you may. Do you get a picture each cruise?
I think we do.
Okay. Well, we have the Wall of Shame. And we've got 33 pictures in our bedroom, and I could look
Divide
back,
that by 10.
I could look in the beginning and see how young I look. I call that the wall of shame because you got to put all these pictures up. Okay, next week, the forum.